Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It's a beautiful day out. Today we're going to be loading out some concrete. We've got a customer that's had us do several jobs for him over the years. He's got some concrete laying around his property. He wants to get cleaned up and hauled out. So we're going to grab the hook lift truck and the skid loader. We're going to grab the grapple bucket and head on down, start loading out some concrete. We've got a dump site. Actually, it's a concrete recycling site back here in Bloomington. So we're going to be hauling back and forth. A little bit of driving today, but no big deal. It's beautiful out. Turn the radio on and have ourselves a great day. down to our job and got the skid loader unloaded. So here's our first pile of concrete. There's a lot of bricks and stuff. Like I said, this was from an old house that was torn down here. A lot of this is front steps, foundation, footings, and stuff like that. So got the skid loader over here. We're gonna start loading out. Got to move the truck back just a smidge. There's a tree right in front here. I'm gonna want to load on the side. So get that moved and we'll get to going. Got the first load loaded up, headed in town, and up we're off. All right, time to take a dump. Sorry, too much information. It's 4:30. We are gonna wrap it up for today. We got most of what we need to hauled out. We probably made 6 or 8 loads of concrete back into town. Had to take a couple of breaks for a couple other things we had going today, so didn't quite get to devote all the time to hauling concrete that I wanted to, but nonetheless, we'll get going first thing tomorrow morning, get it knocked out, and be done with that project. All right, we're back at it. Gonna get the truck, get loaded up, and head back down to Hayworth, finish out our concrete loading job for today. Hopefully we'll only have a couple hours, be done by noon, and move on to our next project. While we're waiting for the skid to warm up, I'll take a second to talk about the equipment that we've got down here. So you guys have seen before the Cat 259. It's a high flow machine. It's what we would consider probably like a mid-size skid loader. It definitely makes some bigger ones out there, but this one is really a great machine for our application especially. So we get into do a lot of backyards, smaller residential projects where having this smaller machine is super convenient, and we're able to get in and be very productive where in some instances a big machine physically might not be able to fit. So that's what we found. The 259 is a good size for us, and just like any piece of equipment, you're going to get into some jobs where you wish it was half the size, and then you're going to get into other jobs where you wish it was twice as big. So this is what we found to be a good fit for us. Don't get me wrong, I would love to get another bigger machine, especially when we get into doing some of the forestry mulching projects and stuff like that. I really would like to have like a 299, something like that, but this works out really well right now, and who knows, in the future we might be able to get one. So the high flow, this thing runs at like the auxiliary, I think it runs at about 33 gallons a minute in high flow. So we've got a forestry mulcher. It's a rotary type of Vail. We'll show that at some point. We'll be getting into forestry mulching for the fall and winter, and it handles that unit really well. It's not, I wouldn't say it's as productive as like your full size, your Cat 299s or your ASVs with the drum mulcher on it, but for what our application is, it works out really well. It works good on that machine, handles it well. So we've been using the grapple bucket down here. This is a demo dozer. It's been a really great attachment. We actually have had this on about 3 different machines now, this Cat. We had it on our previous Terex and then our old Bobcat. So it's been on 3 different machines. It's worked really, really well. For what we do a lot of like concrete tear outs and stuff like that, pulling fence posts all the time. So what we have found is that I did a lot of research on these grapple buckets before we got this one, and I really, really like the design of these flat jaws right here. And so what that allows me to do is to grab a piece of concrete flat. I get a little more surface area bite on it. It just holds a lot better. When it comes to pulling posts out of the ground, I'm able to do so because I've got that whole entire flat surface on the front here to be able to hook onto. If I was hauling or handling trees all day, every day, I probably would not pick this bucket. Obviously, your traditional grapples with the independent fingers are going to be a little bit better in that application, but for what we use it for, it does all right with trees, bigger logs and stuff. Sometimes we'll want to roll out on them if you don't have them quite grabbed really, really good, but overall this thing does very, very well in a lot of different applications. So that's what we found works best for us. Let me know what you guys have and what you guys your opinions on your guys' grapple buckets. Next is the hook lift truck. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen hook lift trucks. This truck is pretty much dedicated to this bed. We don't actually have any other beds. We have moved some other stuff with it before, but this is a combination dump and swing tailgate. So we're able to use it like a dump truck if we want to. We just have to change a couple of the pins around. This actually will get pinned up if we want to use it like a traditional dump bed where it swings at the bottom, and then we pull that pin out and then it would allow it to swing. This actually is the setup right now for a swing gate to where it'll swing to the side just like a dumpster will, and that allows us to put our equipment in here and move it around. So the Cat fits in here, our 401 utility tractor fits in here, the mini excavator fits in here. You can fit all sorts of other smaller pieces of equipment. Maybe we rent something, it'll fit up in here really nice. So super convenient for moving equipment around, no trailers, anything like that. So works out really, really well for us. It's just a great system. There are some downsides. You got to watch your Gotta watch your overall height. Once you get this bed up onto the frame of the truck, you're pretty close to getting to legal height. You're right about 12 feet, so you gotta watch your overhead clearance, but most of the time that's not an issue. And then here we've got the International. This is a, I think it's a 90s, 96 or 7, 4900. This thing came from Boston, Massachusetts. It was a City of Boston municipal truck. Me and my brother-in-law flew out to Boston, looked at it, decided we liked it, and drove it all the way back from Boston to here in Central Illinois. It was in the middle of July, hot as hell, and we drove it straight through. We didn't stop except for fuel. Took a couple of sink baths on the way at some of the oases, and just got a small taste of the trucker life, and that was enough for me. More than enough, actually. But great truck. There's not a whole lot of creature comfort features in this truck. You get heat and you get defrost. That's about it. Other than that, the truck is just solid though, man. This thing starts. It does not matter how cold it is. This thing will start every single time, and it runs great every single time. About the only problem I had with this truck the whole time we've had it is I blew a tire. About a month ago, I was on the interstate, or actually on the highway, blew a tire, broke my one of my little backup lights there, so not a big deal. We'll get that fixed in our winter maintenance. So yeah, it was a great truck. The only other thing I wish I had was another axle. I wish it was a tandem axle. This thing, especially with this hook lift box on here, it's so easy to load on the ground. You can really overload this thing very quick if you're not paying attention. So we're always very conscious of how much we're putting in the beds. I'm not saying that we're loading them too light, but try to pay attention to make sure we don't have too much in here, because like I said, it's really easy to overload this. So that's what we got down here now, and I'll continue to share with you guys different pieces of equipment that we use on our jobs, and let me know what you guys think, what you guys use on your jobs, and how you like it. All right, we are back home. Grabbed a little bit of lunch and actually got the truck unloaded. Skid's back up at the shop. We're gonna go grab some firewood from a good friend of mine. We're gonna meet Josh, owner and operator of Oak Bros Tree Removal and Stump Grinding, so stay tuned. As promised, here is the famous Josh Geerlin with Oak Bros Tree Removal and Stump Grinding. Say hey.
How you doing, guys?
So Josh is kind enough to let me get some firewood from him this afternoon. Josh has a firewood processing business, so right now is the time of year they're cranking out the firewood and selling it. So just got back from another job. We gotta get the skid loader unloaded because we're definitely not gonna load it by hand. It's Saturday and we don't want to work too hard, do we?
You gotta work smarter on Saturdays, you know. What are we gonna do, a face cord? A couple face cords?
I was thinking maybe one or two. Yeah,
Okay.
one or two.
Perfect.
Be just enough to get me through the winter time. A couple
Sounds
of bonfires. So it's beautiful weather out. Like I was saying earlier, we're gonna have a couple friends over. So we're gonna need something to burn and keep us warm, right?
Good seasoned wood. You got oak, maple, hickory, walnut, all the good stuff to get you home and keep you warm.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, let's get this baby unhooked and loaded.
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, he's doing that. So, I just want everybody to know, while Josh's front might be a lot nicer, a little cooler, we actually had the hook lift truck first. We were hook lifting before it was cool. But Josh, because he loved our system so much, got his own hook lift truck, and it is a beautiful truck. It looks really nice. It is an awesome truck. Like I said, don't forget, this was the OG right here. We were hook lifting before it was cool. But the hook lift truck is not quite as cool as this truck right here. This is their newest truck. This is a tree saw truck. It's got basically a crane on it. You can see right there in the middle, it's got a crane on it. Oh, sorry about that. And what that crane does is it has a grapple in, and it also has a saw on it as well, so they can cut the tree, grab it, and then feed it into the chipper. And you can see the chipper is hooked into the back right there of that truck. So that thing is like one-man show. It is a really nice piece of equipment. It's their newest truck. All right, truck's back at the shop, fueled up. Skid loader's back, fueled up. Everything's all put back, fueled up, ready to go to the next job. So I think that is a wrap for today. Thanks for watching.